My talk is intended to give a perspective on the applications and implications of nanotechnology, which is, I can say it as two sides of the same coin. So nanotechnology-enabled products, processes, and applications are expected to contribute significantly to environment and climate protection. And also they are useful in or as raw materials, energy, and water, as well as by reducing greenhouse gases and hazardous waste. Therefore, we are extensively using these nanomaterials, and because of their promising applications towards all the environmental benefits and as well as sustainability effects. But the nanotechnology currently plays a rather subordinate role in these sectors, and still a lot to be done in this area so as to move forward. To cite the history of this nanotechnology and align with this one, the nano timeline, a big history of the very small. Just I want to hint on the line of our great scientist, Faraday, who talks about, 1959, we have this concept of this nanotechnology given by Richard Feynman, and Tokyo Science University professor Taniguchi coins the term nanotechnology. From this event onwards, we have, please just go back. So in this sector now, by 2020, we have a lot of tremendous demand in these applications of the nanotechnology, and also we have a lot of manpower required for this technology to enable various applications of this nanoscience in various fields of engineering, including our wastewater treatment or biomedical applications, etc. Next. So what is this nanoparticle actually? So if you can look at the dimensions of this, it's a 10 to the power of minus 9 meters, 1 nanometer. So next. And also if you compare to the various sizes, it's a nanometer 10 to the power of minus 9 meters, and this is the size at which we are going to, it's a miniaturization of the size of the particles. Next. So what is the speciality of these nanoparticles? So they have this special characters like the size and the shape and the surface area, and also with the different coatings. This is a hypothetical example. What I'm showing here, it is not the realistic one. Just what are the important properties which are responsible for the reactivity of these nanoparticles in realistic conditions, mainly talking about surface charge and its size, shape, coating, and overall surface area, which enable the largest surface area to the volume ratio in various applications. Next, please. So because of these novel properties of these nanomaterials, they are being extensively used in a very environmental friendly products, including the development of the optical amplifications, magnetic amplifications, and also with different biological applications to sense various contaminants, or I can say biosensor development, and also biomedical applications as drug delivering molecules, etc. Next, please. Okay, this is the reason why. So what are the important properties based on these nanoparticle characteristics? They have the increased durability, and they are the dirt and water resistant coatings they can provide, and novel insulation approaches are there. And also chemical industry sector, which is using these materials in various applications, especially the catalytic applications, in order to boost energy and resource efficiency, enable the various novel and as well as other products development. But nanometers can replace in the future environmentally problematic chemicals in certain applications. So thus, it has a very good benefit and applications in various fields, including the medicine and health, information technology, energy production storage, material science, food, water, and environment, like that. Next, please. So to cite some of the examples where nanotechnology can find its applications is first one is a recycling economically applications, especially this recovering the pure zinc material like heavy metals like mercury, lead, cadmium, and from the environmentals. Example, if I want to cite, recover pure zinc oxide nanoparticles from the spent zinc manganese oxide batteries and also other alkaline batteries is a recent discovery cited in the literature. And also we have the applications of these nanomaterials in cleaning up the radioactive waste, especially to clean the removal of the radioactive cesium and iodine. These are effective agents which can be harnessed. Next, please. Next, please. And also we have the environmental applications towards carbon dioxide captures can be done using these nanomaterials, and also hydrogen production from sunlight. There's an artificial photosynthesis also be enabled using these nanomaterials. And also they find applications in water filtration, especially carbon nanotubes, and dendrimers are being employed. And bioactive nanoparticles for water disinfection is also used, especially the metal oxide nanomaterials. So for example, if I want to cite from the literature, they find applications in biotechnology. So nano encapsulates and MEMS, there's a micro electrochemical mechanical applications, and also the nanomaterial based applications. Surface plasma resonance for the development of the various biosensors to capture some of the indicator molecules in wastewater and other biological specimens, including the various diagnostic applications, and nanofiltration membranes that are being, used in environmental applications. So this estimated production of this nanomaterial raised metric tons per year is expected to increase year by year. So that is a projected metric tons per year of these nanomaterials in various applications. Next. Next. So we can see that structural applications include the ceramics and catalyst and also skin trade products development where metal oxides are being used, and ICT based applications, they are being extensively used. Next. So in this context, just I want to recollect or cite our talk by Roger Elif yesterday. He was mentioning about the emerging contaminants as nanoparticles, and also today's talk by our nanogas technologies, which is talking about how these nanotechnologies can be used in various applications. So, but as of now, is in the recent times of the literature indicates that these nanomaterials, what are their properties and applications moving forward, what sort of implications it is they are going to pose on environment is still meager. So therefore, this is one of the emerging areas where most of our tech engineers and scientists has to focus a lot to talk about this nanotechnology. So say for example, starting from their production to the end of their life cycle in environmental compartments. So there is a possibility of this exposure to nanoparticles. So I'm moving on slightly, transitioning to the other side of the technology, and because of which these nanomaterials find their entry into the various compartments of the environment where they have the possibility to undergo the different dissolutions. They undergo the speciation, next. Speciation, as well as they have the biological or chemical transformation, and next please. So they have they can undergo the biological or chemical transformation process, and also we have to talk about what are the agglomeration activities of these nanomaterials. Next. As a result, you can see, so please go on, click on. So as a result, you can find the, click, start. This animation is there. So this nanoscience and technology and R&D applications, so there is a large commercial scale production of these nanomaterials, including some of the extensively used materials I've cited as an examples. So finally, these materials find their entry into the environment. Keep on with this. So wastewater and also other compartments of the environments may contain these type of nanomaterials. So when they enter the environment and human exposure is possible, is there any possibility for the causing toxic effects? I think in the morning session, one of our delegates was asking a question about this. Yes, there is a possibility. So just having the next applications and where we have to come out with a very good knowledge and where we have still data to be collected. Next. So these are the examples, or these are the literature cited where yes, the nanomaterials can find their entry into the environment. From the literature, we can see, for example, titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, and silver gold are already in the environment at different concentrations. Next, please. So as a result, so what's going to happen? They can pose some human implications. Nanomaterial toxicity, which is not yet well understood. So nano-sized materials do not behave like their bulk counterparts. Therefore, how do we address the reactivity of these nanomaterials due to their large surface area and other novel properties and subsequent applications? Therefore, we also have to talk about what exactly this bioaccumulation potential of these nanomaterials, how they are going to impose different problems, and moving to the environmental implications, how these nanomaterials can contaminate water and soil from improper disposal, as well as what are the mechanisms as on day-to-day to address the challenges pertaining to the biouptake of these particles and perturbations being caused by these nanomaterials. Next, please. If I just cite an example of where these interactions of the nanomaterial cellular level, if you look at, so they have a potential to attack the different biochemical mechanisms of these organisms, finally resulting in the long-term health impacts. Therefore, we can't wait till the mortality as an endpoint to know that there is impact of these nanomaterials on the environment. Therefore, there is a need for the high-throughput technologies to understand what sort of perturbations being caused by these nanomaterials at cellular level, so that we can come up with an action plan, a proactive approach to cite or to mitigate the impacts of these nanomaterials on human health and environment. So this is another example how these nanomaterials are being taken up. So there is literature being cited under in vitro conditions and the cellular interactions. But what we know in this sector as on date today, so nanomaterials, human health risks, and risk assessment, if you look at, as of now, we completely, next slide, please. So we unknown data is with respect to human health risk and risk assessment. We are still gathering the data to address the challenges. Next slide, please. So how to start then when there is a gap and the data gaps are prevailing? So when you compare the nanomaterial, given nanomaterials compared to its bulk counterpart, how to address the challenges? So these are some of the properties I wanted to mention where there is a data gap with respect to nanomaterials. You can see structure and properties. If you have the chemical and particle, we have a classification available with standard nomenclature, but nanomaterials still we had to configure out in what way we can classify and what sort of biochemical mechanisms these particles undergo during their interaction with the living system, say per se in the fate and the final fate of this environment when they enter into the different compartments. Next, please. So where are we going? So co-awards. So the lack of reproducibility in nanotechnology studies due to some of the insufficient controls, so there is a need for the interlab validations in this area, and also how to address local environmental around nanometers, in the sense the various parameters, including the physical parameters, chemical parameters, biological parameters, when these particles really enter into the environment, how they are going to influence the properties of nanomaterials, what is the end result of these particles is to be addressed through investigations. Next. So this is the artifacts. So what are the questions to be addressed in the nanoparticle research moving forward? So these are some of the areas, examples just I want to cite. One of them is very important, is toxicity assays, as well. This is my expertise area where I worked in a research area, and also related to the single nanoparticles versus aggregates. So how, when nanoparticle is present, in the morning session we were talking about around 375 nanometers is the size of the nanoparticle given, and how this agglomeration of the nanoparticles is going to affect, that has to be a question. And also we have to, is there any possibility of the impact of the various agents present in the environment can cause aggregation, disaggregation, or agglomeration? How to address such challenges is one of the artifacts to be addressed in the research area. Next. So what are the needs of this nanotoxicology research? So we need to look at the physicochemical characterization and their chemical properties, how they are important in causing the different impacts at organism level, and also environmental level is very important. So what happens if you address such issues? So what is the outcome of that thing? So why they are very much important? So as per my understandings, in my opinion, these, next slide please. So in this research, or through this research, I can say it can add value to the upcoming sustainable development goals, where we can bring some synergy between the different sustainable development goals by harnessing that, by utilizing the application of these nanomaterials in various sectors. So how does nano is going to contribute to the sustainable development goals? These are some of the applications, including their priority-wise, and mainly the nanomaterials is biology and also nanoscience, and its nano-characterization and nano-simulation applications are need of the hour, so as to fill or address some of the gaps existing in this technology to link up or to find the nexus with the various targets are being mentioned under the sustainable development goals. Next, please. So in this pursuit, so what EPTRI is trying to address, so what is our core area, what we are trying to do? So being an NABET accredited institute for carrying out environmental impact assessment studies and expertise in the waste, integrated solid waste management facilities, and also being a nodal center for the climate change in Telangana. And we have the NABL and ISO certified referral analytical lab, and we have NV centers and also well-established biotechnology and plant tissue culture laboratories. Next. So with this setup, and we are looking at the first aspect of the nanomaterial characterization. Next slide, please. So this is one of the detection and characterization of the nanomaterials from the environmental compartment, especially from the wastewater treatment. Is there any possibility of the occurrence of these nanomaterials in this compartment? So in what concentration they are present? So in this slide, I'm presenting my recent work which is being done on the titanium. So titanium dioxide, which is extensively used in various applications. Can we use this nanomaterial as a tracer molecules, or tracer element to find out the occurrence of other elements? That is what the hypothesis is being proposed. Next slide, please. So in this technology, we have employed Icp Ms, that is inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry, where we want to characterize a single particle, so which talks about this nano size in or not. So we have characterized these nanomaterials from the various compartments of these wastewater treatment plant, especially activated sludge treatment system. Next. And also, as I was mentioning about, we don't know what is this impact, or how the different factors are going to influence the properties of the nanomaterials, including, say, organic matter present in the water, and in what way it is going to cause dissolved organic matter present in the water, and what are the electrolytes impact on these materials when they enter into the realistic scenario. Towards this attempt, EPTRI and as well as in collaboration with the BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus, we are working on the optimization of the methodology to find out how the nanoparticle stability varies under different environmental conditions. Next, please. So moving forward, the toxicity assessment studies are being conducted as per the guidelines of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development guidelines. Next, please. And this is one other area approach, is very high throughput technology, where we employed omics technology, that is proteomics, profiling the complete snapshot of the proteins of a given organism when it is exposed to nanomaterial or when it is not exposed to nanomaterials, how perturbations are being caused in this organism in the absence, in the presence of the nanomaterials in the given conditions. Is it really going to cause a problem or not? So what biological mechanism is being affected is a major question being addressed through this high throughput technology using proteomics. So next one is, this is one of the snapshots of my recent results, where I studied about the impact of the TiO2 nanomaterials on earthworm, which is an environmental sentinel. So what sort of proteins are going to fluctuate or the down-regulated when compared to a control in a earthworm, that is an earthworm Icenia fetida species. Next. So in conclusion, from the results of the research what we have done, so I can say that environmental nanotechnology has the great potential to address various challenges. But there is a need for multidisciplinary understanding of chemistry, physics, and other fields, including the biological sciences. Fusion of these disciplines is very, very important so as to move forward to address the existing gaps in the knowledge. Next, please. So what is the way forward? We are trying to look at EPTRI, and we welcome the collaborative or the research efforts in this area especially. Can we really find this application of nanomaterials in leachate and wastewater treatment? So what is the significant application? And can we have some energy saving applications? Previous slide, please. So saving through the nanomaterials, can we come out with some solutions? And recently we have concluded a training program on the metagenomics, or this environmental genomics approaches, where we are trying to look at the microbial remediation technologies. Can we come up with the microbial formulations really to address what lake remediation can be done or not? So what is its microbial profile of these lakes, and what way that can be used as an indicator or treatment technology can be developed is one of the future scope of applications of this research at our EPTRI. Next, please. So I acknowledge EPTRI, especially our Director General, Sri Kalyan Chakravarti garu, for his unconditional support in exploring this new avenue of the research in terms of the nanotechnology and environmental applications. And I thank our organizers of the WWM Water and Waste Management team who has invited me to give this talk. It is a very, scientific based approach in terms of when compared to other talks, but thank you so much for your support, sir, and also encouragement. I also acknowledge the other professional bodies where I'm the member, and also my collaborator from the BITS Pilani and STOX, CTAC, Society of Toxicology, United States of America. And I want to conclude, next click please. So I want to conclude by saying that art is I, science is we. So we always have to look at this aspect, and also science is built up with the facts, as a house is with the stones, but a collection of facts is no more science than heap of stones is a house. So please take up this, and with this, I thank you very much for your attention, for listening to my lecture. Thank you.